Hey everyone, welcome to Crow's Kitchen. I'm going to talk about in lesson 2, kitchen etiquette. So we're going to talk about all the things that is necessary for you to do in order to properly function in the kitchen. And make sure you have no accidents and no problems whatsoever. So, the first thing you want to do is you want to clean. You want to make sure everything's clean. Keep your workplace clean. Everything in a tidy and organized manner. Mise en place. Remember from the first episode? If you haven't, check it out. Because honestly, it's an eye-opener and it's actually good for you to look at. Separate everything. Separate your food. Separate your vegetables from your meats, because if you don't, that is cross-contamination, and that can get someone sick, or it could if it's religious base wise, you're basically violating their religious views if you cross-contaminate. Let's say for the ones said you can't eat pork or you can't eat cow. If you cross-contaminate that with their vegetarian options, if they are vegetarian, or even if they're not vegetarian, they decide to basically have something that is different. You don't want to cross-contaminate their food. Not good. You also want to make sure everything's cooked. You want to make sure all your food is properly good and not undercooked, not overcooked, because overcooked is as bad as undercooked. I'm going to tell you that. It ain't good. But, trying to think, what else on that one? Yeah, you could get someone sick, just by cooking it wrong. You also want to chill everything that is left outside of the fridge. If it's refrigerated food, if you have mayo or mayonnaise based stuff, or stuff that's like milk, dairy, poultry, meats, everything that needs refrigerating, you must put in the refrigerator, because if you don't, the bacteria on the kitchen table, and I will tell you, as good as you could be at cleaning, there will always be some sort of bacteria. And I'm going to tell you, you don't want to start some kind of contamination on any of this food. It's bad. It reeks. It's poisonous to basically eat. Yeah, you don't want to cross that kind of line. Also, for those who wear jewelry, and I mean this ladies, I mean this guys also, do not have it on your hands. A watch is fine, but do not have jewelry outside, because God forbid that one thing drops in a vat of sauce. The germs that are on that thing already will go into the food and will contaminate it. It's not good. Oh yes, keep your hair up. Keep it in the hairnet, or keep it up if long, because that's also another thing. It's frowned upon truly if you have hair in food. It's a suitable thing. It's suable. It's literally like a lawsuit in the making. The person will send that food back and will not pay for it, and you just lost revenue on that food. If you're in a job, if you're at home, it's just gross. Straight up gross. Why would you want anyone's hair in your food, right? Yeah. So let's keep that out there. As I said, cross-contamination is the enemy of, the industry. It's the enemy of everything. It's not good. You don't want to do it. Cross-contamination means basically taking your vegetables, chopping it with a knife and then taking that same knife and chopping your meat. Actually, let's vice versa that, because it's more honestly in that direction. Like if you chop meat and you cut meat and you butcher your meat right then and there with one knife, and you use that same knife immediately to cut your vegetables, the germs from that meat will go into the vegetables, will sully what you have tried to do and make it a lot worse. Like, there are people with allergies that can't eat meat. There are people with allergies that can't eat certain things. You don't want to cross it, because basically you could actually make them really ill, and depending on how ill they get, it could be really, really, really bad. And there could be a chance that, like, jail time could happen at the furthest worst of it, to basically you being fired. So, at the least end, is it worth it? No. So, please take Chef Chris's advice. Follow etiquette. And there's also another thing I have to mention. Use words. Use words. Use like some kind of language of which you can understand that people are behind you or in a certain corner or something. Because in the kitchen, it's behind. If you're directly behind someone, you walk behind someone, you must say behind, loud enough for them to hear. You also need to say corner if you are around the corner, loud enough for someone to hear. You also should pound the door that you're going to go into, like if it's a freezer locker and you're going to open the door, you must make sure no one's there so that you don't run into them. Same thing when you're going out of the freezer locker. You want to make sure people know that it's safe for you to actually open the door. So, yeah, use words. And I implore you to use this at your house. Home cooks, listen. It is good to use these techniques no matter where you are, because let's say you're in the cupboard and you're like doing something like that and you're getting food and you want to make sure someone's outside, it's not going to run into you. Just tap the door. Make sure someone isn't there, because running into someone with a lot of food, you drop stuff, then you have to go back and get some more. Or you can injure yourself in any way. Like, even, like, use behind, use corner. Because this way people will know if they have hot stuff in their hands, not to back up, or will be a little bit worried of what's around the corner, so that they don't run into you and cause an accident, burns, and all that bad stuff will not happen. So, that's today's lesson. It's probably more that needs to be said on this topic, but at this right moment, I don't exactly know what else. Except you must have good hygiene. That's a given. You don't want to stink. No one wants to smell your stink. There you go. That's all I have. Chef Chris out. Bye.